The story begins with a cunning thief named Maurice, whom we see at the start of the story. He has been caught by the police in a bank robbery case and is being taken to be imprisoned for life in the world's most secure prison, Alcatraz. Alcatraz is a prison built on a small island in the middle of the sea. This means that even if a prisoner breaks out of jail, he still cannot escape because the water stops his way. That is why this jail held the status of the most secure jail in the world. Only the world's top criminals were kept here, but soon the reputation of this jail was going to be dragged into the mud because now a cunning thief named Frank Morris had entered this jail, who had broken out of jail many times before. But this time, Morris was a bit nervous because this jail was very secure. However, Morris did not want to spend his entire life here at all. He wanted to escape from this jail as soon as possible. As soon as he entered the jail, Morris started thinking about escaping. After checking Maurice from head to toe, he's locked in a cell. A guard comes and says to Maurice, "Welcome to Alcatraz." And from here, the real story begins. Suddenly a bell rings and the gates of all the cells open automatically. Officers call the prisoners out. The discipline of this jail is also very strict. Prisoners have to follow the rules of cleaning and going to the cell on their time. Everyone wearing the same uniform comes in a line to eat breakfast. In front of Morris is a prisoner named Litmus. Morris asks, "I didn't even get a fork." "Now how will I eat noodles?" Litmus tells him, "Hey, this is not your home. Whatever you have received, eat it quietly." Then a dangerous prisoner named Wolf starts teasing Morris. Every prisoner in the jail was fed up with Wolf. He used to run his own way on every prisoner. Here and there are many cases of rape against him too. In this jail, more than one dangerous prisoner is kept. Here Litmus asks Morris for some food, and during this, Morris gives him his plate. When Morris looks under the table, he finds out that Litmus himself is not eating the food, but is giving it to a mouse. At night, a guard takes Morris to the warden. When Morris reaches the warden's office, the warden says to Morris, "I know that you have a very sharp mind and are very intelligent too. But what use is all that here because many like you have come and gone, but no one could escape from here. Here prisoners follow very strict rules. It's good. Someone can come to meet you only once in 2 months, and that too only if my mood is good." The warden is a very strict person who gives very strict punishment to prisoners even for a small mistake. The warden says, "Don't even think of escaping from here. Otherwise, you will be blown to pieces." To which Maurice replies, "No sir, who can think of escaping from here while you are around?" But in reality, from the very first day, the planning to escape from here had started in Maurice's mind. During this, seeing an opportunity, Maurice steals the warden's nail cutter, which was otherwise a very small thing. But Maurice knew that in a jail like Alcatraz, a very big job could be taken from this small nail cutter. As soon as he returns to the cell, Maurice hides this nail cutter in the Bible. The next day in the bathroom, Wolf starts troubling Maurice again. But this time, Maurice was not going to leave him. Now Maurice shows his real form and catches him and thrashes him a lot. After beating Wolf, Maurice now has a different reputation in the whole jail. Everyone started fearing Maurice. After this, Maurice is given work in the library. There he meets a man named English. He is a senior prisoner of this jail. English was also sentenced to life imprisonment because of the murder of 2 men. He has spent half his life in this jail. He is familiar with every nook and corner of this jail. He gets news of everything in the jail. He also knows that this morning there was a fight between Morris and Wolf. He gives some books to Morris, which Morris has to deliver to every prisoner's cell. In the next scene, an open space is shown where prisoners are playing some game or the other. Then he meets an artist named Doc who is making a painting of himself. Doc is a very simple and decent person who has been serving a sentence here for many years. He was very fond of painting and used to spend most of his time in painting. Doc said that in a jail like Alcatraz, anyone can go mad. But because of his painting, his mind is running normally till now. Maurice asks Doc, "Why have you made this flower in this painting? There is nothing like this in your shirt." Doc says, "This is my happiness which is only in the painting, not in my heart." After that, when Morris looks to his right, he sees English above. Morris goes towards English. Morris goes towards English. When Morris goes near him, his disciples stop Morris. Then English signals that he is our own man, let him come. Morris goes and sits near him and immediately starts talking about his heart. Morris says to him, "Will you help me in escaping from here?" Hearing this, escaping from here. Hearing this, English laughs. "Look, son, this is not just a jail. This is the grave of all of us. If we have to get out of here, first we will have to die. Only then, our dead body will be able to reach the graveyard from here. Even if you assume that you climb these big walls, and after that cross the dangerous forces, and by some magical power, you escape from hundreds of guards, here and get out of the jail. Even then, you won't be able to escape, because ahead your way will be blocked by the ocean. So don't waste time and quietly serve the sentence. At least you will remain alive." But Morris was firm in his intention. He wanted to escape from this jail at any cost. That night, an officer tells Maurice that you have been given carpentry work from tomorrow. A daily wage of 50 cents per hour will also be given. Morris immediately agreed to this work because he felt that he might find some tool there which could be useful in his escape. The next day, Morris asks Litmus for the way to escape from here. Litmus says, "Oh, this is very easy. Every cell has an air vent. Through that, you can reach the roof. From there, maybe you can escape." And walks away from there smiling at Morris's words. Then Doc warns Morris that Wolf is coming towards you. Then Wolf comes to attack Morris with a knife. Morris wraps his coat on his hand and starts fighting with him. In the meantime, a guard comes to stop him. So Wolf attacks the guard too with a knife. Now the matter gets worse, and the guard of the watchtower starts shooting. Then only Morris and Wolf stop fighting. Morris did not know that there was a guard on the watchtower too. He now starts noticing every single thing of this jail one by one. Morris and Wolf are taken by the guards to the D block, where prisoners are tortured by keeping them in darkness all night. This was a cell where no prisoner wanted to go. Before going, Wolf threatens Morris. "Son, your death will be by my hands." That night, Morris has to endure various types of tortures, due to which his condition becomes quite bad. After staying in this dark cell for 2 weeks, he is brought back to his cell, where Litmus sends a note to Morris through his pet mouse in which it is written, "Welcome back, Morris." One day, a new prisoner named Charlie comes who is kept in the cell near Morris. Friendship is quickly formed between Morris and Charlie. Morris then introduces him to his other friends too. At the same time, the warden checks the cell of every prisoner without telling anyone. When he goes to Doc's cell, there are many paintings made by him in Doc's cell. The warden is surprised that day by day his paintings are increasing. Doc has also made a painting of the warden. Seeing it, the warden starts smiling, but don't know why. The next day, the warden orders the guards to throw out all the paintings made in Doc's cell. This decision of the warden completely broke Doc from inside, because Doc was alive only with the support of his paintings. He used to love every single painting made by him very much because here it was his only happiness, and that too was snatched from that poor man. Morris explains to him that it doesn't matter. The next day, seeing him, Morris says to the guard, "Please keep an eye on Doc. He is looking very troubled, lest he harms himself." Then the guard tells Morris, "You mind your own business." Doc is also given carpentry work along with Morris. Then Doc secretly puts something in Morris's pocket. After that, he calls a guard and cuts his 3 fingers with the axe given for carpentry and says, "I don't need those fingers with which I cannot paint." Saying this, he starts screaming. Then guards catch him and take him away. Maurice sees that Doc has put the same flower in his coat with which he had made his painting. Perhaps he wants to tell Morris that these people snatched my happiness from me. Morris picks up Doc's cut fingers and puts them in a box, and looking at the guard says, "Go and give it to your warden. Go and give it to your warden. He will be very happy to see this." The next day, Maurice is sitting in his cell. Then he sees a cockroach going inside the air vent, which gives him an idea that there must be some way to go out from here. "Sir." In the meantime, English comes and tells that Doc cut his own fingers because his permission to paint was canceled. That is why, being fed up, he cut his fingers. Knowing this, Morris gets very angry. The next day in the dining hall, the warden asks Morris, "Why are you supporting this Doc so much?" He says, "There is nothing like that." Saying this, Morris goes back and sits on the table. There he meets 2 brothers, John and Clarence, but Morris talks to them as if he knew them from before. John and Clarence, actually these two were in Morris's gang in some other jail. Oh, now the task of escaping from jail started appearing easy to John because, like Morris, these two brothers were also sharp-minded, and now all three started planning to escape from the jail. In the afternoon, Charlie's girlfriend comes to meet him. On the other side, English's daughter has come to meet him. As soon as English sees his daughter, tears come to his eyes because his daughter had grown up quite a bit in his absence. And English was very sorry for not being able to see his daughter's childhood. On the other side, Charlie's wife tells him that your mother is very ill, and doctors say that she will not be able to survive for more than a month or so. Hearing this, now Charlie also starts thinking of escaping from Alcatraz, and in the meantime, the guard comes and says that the time to talk is over. Now Charlie is very troubled. That night, he says to Morris that if you make a plan to escape from here, then include me too. The next day, a meeting of Morris, Charlie, John, and Clarence takes place. Then Morris tells them that the air vent of every cell opens above on the roof, and the second thing is that this place is in the middle of a sea filled with salt water, because of which the walls have become weak. I have a nail cutter, and I have already started digging. If I dig little by little and reach the roof by making a small tunnel, then after investigating this place, it will be known how to escape from here. John asks, if at night the guards find out that you are not in your cell, won't they suspect? Then Clarence tells that I have the solution to this problem. He says that there is a barber here of my acquaintance who cuts the hair of the prisoners. He can supply us with hair, and by using that, we will make a dummy head and lay it on the bed, after which even if we are out through the wall tunnel and on the roof above, the guards will not suspect because fake heads will be kept on the beds of our cells. But the matter was still stuck on how they would cross the seawater after getting out of the jail. Morris says to John, look, I will need your help in this. You work in the clothing department. There you will find raincoats made for those police officers. So you steal some raincoats and give them to me. We can cross the sea by making a tube boat and life jackets from them. Here, Charlie says, brother, give me some work too. I also want to help you guys. Morris tells Charlie that when I dig the ventilation grill, you keep watch so that no guard sees us, and when you dig, I will keep watch. Everyone likes Morris's plan, and they start the work that very night. But the nail cutter was very small for digging the wall, to use which Morris had to apply a lot of force, and Morris was having a lot of difficulty in digging the wall. He even got small injuries in his hand, but he slowly starts digging that hole. The next day, he says to his friends at the eating table that I need a big tool for digging. It is very difficult to dig the wall with a nail cutter. Then, seeing the spoon in his hand, an idea came to Morris's mind. He deliberately makes the spoon dirty by rubbing it on his shoe. After that, Morris called the guard and said that this spoon is dirty. Give me another spoon. Other people also requested the guard to change their spoon. The guard didn't find anything wrong in this, and he immediately allowed the spoon to be changed. After which he directly moves towards the table where another security guard was sitting on the seat. But as soon as he starts changing the spoons kept on the table, John engaged the guard present there in conversation. Taking advantage of which Maurice picked up 2 spoons instead of 1 and hid 1 in his pocket, after which he goes straight to his cell. At night when English comes to give him a book, Morris asks, will any equipment for welding be available here? English understands that the ghost of escaping from jail is still riding on Morris's head. He says, I have already told you that your attempt will be useless because you will be caught, and maybe you will even lose your life. In so many years, the thought of escaping never came to me because I know it is impossible. But you are stubborn, so what can I do? Try. But Morris is not affected by his warning. The next day he asks Litmus for matches and says that if you help me, I will give your mouse my share of food every day. Litmus happily accepts this deal because Litmus liked the mouse very much. That same night, Litmus passes his matches to Morris. Morris takes out a handle of the nail cutter from which he was going to make a small shovel. Then he breaks the spoon and joins it with the handle of the nail cutter. Then lighting a match, he welds both of them properly and prepares a sharp tool. That was it. He starts digging around the vent. Charlie keeps watch. If any guard came that way, he would immediately whistle and give a signal to Morris. But while keeping watch, Charlie falls asleep, and just then, a guard comes there. But luckily, English intervened at the right time and distracted the guard, and on the other side, while listening to English's conversation, Charlie's eyes also opened, but in tension, he is not even able to whistle, after which he drops something. So Morris understands his signal, covers the vent and lies down on the bed. The guard asks that a smell of something burning is coming here. Morris says, "Sir, while you are here, does anyone have the guts to smoke? I am not getting any smell." That guard also feels cool that okay, someone values me. As soon as he leaves, Morris takes out the concrete around the vent, but he sees that screws have also been driven with the ventilation grill, to cut which a sharp tool will be needed. During this, whenever Morris got an opportunity to go out, he would silently drop the cement that came out of the grill outside. The sound of the drill machine was quite loud, hearing which guards start coming up. But by then, Morris cuts one rod of the grill and the drilling sound stops. After the drill sound stops, the guard ignores it and goes back. Now these four had opened all their ways to escape, after which they were going to escape from the world's most secure jail, Alcatraz, on Tuesday night, from which no one had been able to escape till today. The next day, their meeting takes place again, and that too in the movie hall, where everyone is watching a movie. Amidst the sound of the movie, Morris asks John and Clarence, "Is your vent ready? And what about those raincoats from which we were going to make tubes and life jackets?" They tell that everything is ready. Our dummy head is also absolutely ready, just waiting to escape. Next morning during breakfast, Maurice kept the flower given by Doc on the table. When the warden saw this flower, the warden comes to their table and crushes the flower kept there. Seeing this, Litmus gets very angry because this flower was Doc's favorite, and Doc was dead. Litmus attacks him in anger. First you killed Doc, and on the other hand, you are not even leaving a small memento given by him. But as soon as he attacks the warden, he suddenly gets a heart attack and falls down. Morris gets very angry at the warden, and all four decide to escape that very night. Morris was waiting for midnight, so that the guard's watch becomes a bit weak. Then, we will be able to escape easily. Just then in Morris's cell, English gives him some books. So Morris says that for the last time,